talking now about clothing. There's a bracha in the morning to thank Hashem for clothes. They say that clothes is the mark of a successful person. You see someone who's wearing shabby clothes, he looks like a shlamazel. You see someone with a nice suit, he looks like $1 million. So we have a special bracha, thanking Hashem for our clothing. Now, different cultures have different clothing. Hasidic Jews have silk, black, bekishers, and a fur strimal. Then you have typical Jews, Sephardic Jews, Ashkenaz Jews, regular, nice suits. And you have also other cultures that have their clothing. But whatever the story is, we have a special bracha to thank Hashem for clothes. Now, clothes are not just something you wear to look good. Clothes are there to protect you. Think what would happen if someone did not have a good coat on a stormy, rainy, cold day where the snow's coming down. You know, just yesterday in Cleveland, Ohio, there was 2 to 3 feet of snow all over. My sister was telling me how they had to rush to get home on time for Shabbat. There were cars that were abandoned and in the road. It was really, really difficult. So a coat is there to protect you, to keep you warm. On a snowy day, everyone feels good when they have an umbrella, that the rain doesn't have to get in their hair and make them cold and freezing. So let's think where this coat came from. Hashem gave the wool on the sheep to grow and grow till it's long enough to be cut and turned into threads. It's a big process of taking the wool off the sheep. And then they have to clean it and color it and dye it till it's actually turned into a beautiful suit or dress. Coats generally come from cows, cowhides. There are fancy fur coats that some women wear, cost $5,000. Guess what? That had to come from beaver skin. As a matter of fact, the Indians in the olden days became wealthy by trading furs with the French. And guess what? They even traded with them knives, guns, pots, but the French are willing to spend a lot of valuables and money just to get fur, to make the fur coats, the fur hats. I remember one year, I had to watch children in a shul very far from my house. And I dreaded every winter morning. I said, uh-oh, I got to go walk in this freezing cold weather to take care of such adorable, precious, delicious children. And I said to myself, I better get a hat. I tried on one hat, I was still freezing. Then I saw a guy outside shul on Avenue L. He was selling this big black fur rabbit's fur hat. I said, how much is it? He said, $50. I took it, I put it on. I'm telling you, as long as it was on my head, I didn't feel winter. I thought it was summer. I didn't even feel a bit of the cold. Yishtabach Shemo, that Hashem creates all these different creatures like the rabbit, and then we're going to use the rabbit's fur, and guess what? We won't catch cold. No one wants to get the flu. No one wants to get pneumonia or bronchitis. So we have to thank Hashem for clothing. We all have our favorite sweater. I'm sure we all have our favorite outfit. So thank Hashem for that. You know, buttons are something that we don't even think about. We use them quickly. We don't stop to think about them. My last speech I heard from my rabbi, Rabbi Vigdor Miller Zitzal, was when he was speaking about the gift of buttons. He says, isn't it such a bracha that they don't melt in the dryer? And that they close your clothes real fast so you don't have to sit there with zippers and trying to connect things, pins. We take it for granted. But what a bracha it is. And Rabbi Miller would say, look how Hashem makes cotton grow from the ground. Wow, a plant? And that's right. Linen, flax also grows from the ground. These are beautiful, comfortable materials like our socks. Nothing like a nice pair of comfortable cotton socks. So all this, thank Hashem for. And what about your tie? You know these ties, these $50 ties? They're made with expensive silk. Silk used to be the clothing that only the monarchs in China wore. As a matter of fact, it used to be illegal to sell silk outside of China because the China people wanted it only for the royalty. Someone was very clever. He knew that the silk comes from silkworms and they eat mulberries. He took a cane and he put in the cane these silkworms and mulberry, and he closed the cane, and as he was leaving the Chinese border, they said, let's inspect. We have to make sure you're not bringing anything out of the country that's illegal. And they didn't know that when he put his cane down, in his cane was silkworms, and then those silkworms had silkworms, and before you knew it, the secret was out, and silk is now all over the world. What a beautiful material. It's one of the nicest, smoothest materials, and it holds dye coloring very well, so they can make all types of designs. So we thank Hashem for all our forms of clothing, and the washing machine, and the dry cleaners. We don't take these for granted. Do you know in the olden days what a mother had to do a wash? She had to spend the whole day by the river, schlepping the clothes, scrubbing the clothes with stones in the cold water. Today you have hot water in the dryer, in the washing machine. Now, when Christopher Columbus discovered North America, he saw a lot of Native Americans. They weren't wearing clothing too much. Maybe they were wearing a little piece of leather. They weren't sneut. But I guess the Indians eventually learned from us that it's proper to cover yourself up. So thank Hashem every day for the gift of clothing. And when you say the bracha, Malbish Arumim, think of your favorite suit, your favorite coat, your favorite jacket. Thank you, Hashem, for such a comfortable uniform.